My name is Mr. Faka Ejimi, and I'm the mall chairman of Robinson Valley Mall, as well as the manager of the mall. I wish to wade into the purported video that was going around on social media concerning Mr. Raymond's shop that was looted and was locked by Chief Kenneth Gbagi. A lot of the information on social media, I will tell you, are all misleading, because I was a party during the process, as well as the meeting that was held, the financial meeting that was held between Chief Kenneth Gbagi and Mr. Raymond Anozie. Sometime in April 2019, Chief Kenneth Gbagi was called, and he was told that some sums were to be withdrawn from his account to the tune of 1.2 million, of which he confirmed who was to make such withdrawals, and was told that it was Mr. Raymond Anozie, of which he later claimed that he did it in error because accounts were misplaced. Then sometime in June, same 2019, Chief Kenneth Gbagi had traveled abroad, and while he was abroad, an audit was carried out on the financial maintenance account of the mall, and it was discovered that the account needed some explaining to do. So Chief Kenneth Gbagi, while he was abroad, called Chief Raymond Anozie to get clarification why the account was misappropriated. But during the time while he was abroad, while he was calling for throughout the month of June, Chief Raymond Anozie's phone rang. He never picked. So when Chief got back from his travels, he as well called Chief Raymond Anozie to see if he can invite him to get clarification concerning the mall maintenance account, as well as remittance from advert placements within the mall, which were supposed to be paid as well into the mall account. Those monies could not be properly accounted for when the auditors carried out audits of the account. So Chief Kenneth Gbagi requested for the presence of Chief Raymond by calling him on the phone, which he never picked up and never returned the calls, the missed calls. So Chief Kenneth Gbagi sent his PA to personally go to the shop and invite Mr. Raymond in person. The PA went to the shop. He did not meet Mr. Raymond on seat. So she requested that the manager that is managing the shop at the time, a lady, to call Chief Raymond Anozie that she wanted to speak with him. Unfortunately enough, the manager placed the call, and Chief Raymond Anozie picked up the phone. So the PA was displeased. I was like, Chief Kenneth Gbagi, I've been calling you since June, and this is July, which is about a month plus, and you've not been picking your calls, and you've never returned the calls. And now your sales rep / your manager in the shop just called you and you picked up. So the PA was not pleased and requested that the shop be closed. That the shop is closed, that Mr. Raymond would come. So when the shop was closed, Mr. Raymond went to the OV of Ogeli and pleaded for his assistance to come into the matter. So the OV in turn spoke to Chief Kenneth Gbagi, and Chief Kenneth Gbagi agreed to give Chief Raymond an audience. So myself was invited for the meeting because as at the time Chief Raymond was the chairman of the mall. I was as well a member of the maintenance committee. So I was invited for the meeting. Chief Raymond came to the meeting, and while the meeting was to start, he walked in with a man. And Chief Kenneth Gbagi was asking, "Who is this man? I don't know him. Is he a member of our maintenance committee?" Chief Raymond said no, that is his friend. So he said, "Okay, since you came with your friend, let your friend sit and bear witness to the meeting." So while the meeting was to start, Chief Kenneth Gbagi told Chief Raymond Anozie that the only reason why I'm giving you this audience is because of the honor and respect he has for the OV of Ughelli. That if it wasn't for the OV of Ughelli, that he would have been involved with the Nigerian police to carry out investigation concerning misappropriation of funds of the mall maintenance account. So while the meeting was to start, Chief Kenneth Gbagi requested that Chief Raymond should bring all financial records and expenditure that has been carried out so far, but on which Chief Raymond Anozie said he doesn't have any record, doesn't have any financial records or expenditure with him. And Chief Kenneth Gbagi was very displeased and was like, "How can you be that unserious? That you are the one who called and summoned everybody to this meeting, and you are coming to a financial meeting without documents to show or any records to show." So in turn, Chief Raymond Anozie pleaded that time should be given to him to go back home and bring all financial records so that he can present them. Chief Kenneth Gbagi was due to take a flight to Abuja that day. He had to put off and cancel his flight and agreed that Chief Raymond Anozie should go home and bring the record. But when he comes to the record, he should do an account with me. He do an account with me so that when he will be presenting the financial records, it will be faster. So we both walked out of the office. We went to the car park. He entered his vehicle and drove off, and I went back to the mall. I waited till 9 p.m. that day because we were supposed to have that meeting by 9 p.m. He was supposed to come with the records, we'll do an account together, and then the meeting was slated for 9 p.m. that same day. But Chief Raymond never showed up. He never came. I called him the next day, he did not pick up. I called him 3 days later after that day we were slated to have the meeting. He now picked up and told me that he was on his way to Lagos. That when he comes back, that we both will do the account together and then present to Chief Kenneth Gbagi. But from 1 week into 2 weeks, into 3 weeks, into 1 month, I never saw Chief Raymond Anozie. He didn't come back. He didn't come back to me. And in all those times I called, he did not take my calls. So sometime in August or so, or September, I was sent a notification to my office here, a court summons stating that stating a claim of 4.8 million and suing GKO Properties as well as Chief Kenneth Gbagi for the looting and vandalizing of his goods in his shop. I want to state clearly that there was no time his goods were vandalized. When he did not come back, his goods had been in that shop all the while till he brought in the court notice. Even after the court notice, his goods in his shops were still there. We waited for Chief Raymond Anozie. He never showed up. Presently, his rent has expired, but at the time the issue was going on, his rentage had 1 month to expire. So when his rent expired, he still did not show up. The whole of 2019, he did not show up. So when we got the court notice, the legal team handled it, and his goods in his shop was kept safe. There was no time his goods were looted, as stated in the social media handle. Those were not true. Those were misleading statements to tarnish the image of Chief Kenneth Gbagi. And I want to state this clearly, that whatever you see on social media, please and please take your time to investigate properly before you come out and make damaging statements about people. Chief Kenneth Gbagi has been a man that has provided us a platform as youth in terms of employment. If you go around the state, I don't see anyone who have put up structures to create employment. He has been in the forefront of doing so. So the syndrome of pulling him down that has been going around, I would say, is highly misplaced. He's a man I feel we should encourage, especially the youths. He's a man we should encourage because he's a man that has stood by the people, that has built businesses, that has created employment for millions of youths in Delta State.
As you can see, these are where Mr. RAYMOND, Anozie's goods are stored, and they are stored properly, and they are in safe and good condition. These are all his goods properly stored. None of his goods have been tampered with or vandalized or looted as he claimed on social media. His goods are in safe condition. All he needs to do is to come and pick up his goods. And the only way to do so is to come and reach a settlement with Chief Gbagi. His goods are in safe condition. All he needs to do is come with his financial records and settle amicably with Chief Gbagi, and he can have access to his goods and services. He's the one that abandoned his shop. He's the one that left his goods here. But we in turn, we are not inhuman, we are not barbaric. We kept his goods for him. Whenever he chooses to come, he can come and then settle with Chief Gbagi and then have access to his goods. It's that simple. All he needed to do that was requested was for him to come with all financial records so that a proper audit could be carried out. And then I don't think we'll be here talking about if goods were looted or if shops were locked. Thank you.